Yeah, LVZ. Chilling like a motherfucker. So I'm just sitting here looking on my Prime. I've been chilling, looking up stuff. Drugs as weapons against us. This is on Prime. It's a documentary. This is what I'm watching. Wow, niggas like Stevie J watching dumb Peckerwoods on motherfucking YouTube and wasting my goddamn time sending me that shit on my DMs. Stevie, fuck out of here. Anyway, um, yeah, I ain't trying to hear that silly shit. Anyway, right now, I'm watching drugs as a weapon against us, and I learned something, man. I learned something. Did y'all know this about Paul Robeson? I didn't know that.
Its ever-increasing distribution of LSD.
Okay, yeah, let me go back a little bit to show y'all what's going on with this LSD. They talking about how, of
U.S.
course,
Senate report said was projects involving the surreptitious administration of LSD to unwitting non-volunteer subjects at all social levels. One key reason may have been related to a CIA document statement of the developing goal of using LSD to develop means for the control of the activities and mental capacities of individuals, whether willing or not. Accumulating evidence suggests this would become the unstated achievement and the CIA's MK-Ultra agents' motivation for its ever-increasing distribution of LSD.
they always say stop playing this lame ass music.
Activist Paul Robeson Jr. has presented overwhelming evidence supporting that the CIA targeted his extraordinary father by placing a psychedelic drug in his drinks. Paul Robeson Sr. was an All-American football player in college. He graduated from Columbia University Law School and was a world-renowned singer and activist, and he eventually learned to speak 20 languages. Several weeks before a planned trip to meet with Cuban leaders Fidel Castro and Che Guevara in 1961, Paul Robeson had traveled to Moscow to sing and lecture. Americans in his hotel threw a surprise party in the room next to his and convinced him to attend. Paul Robeson Jr. described this incident to Amy Goodman on Democracy Now!, the radio program.
Wild party, all kinds of people wandering in and out, including dissidents, refuseniks, obviously anti-Soviet people, disturbed him very much. What happened was, he told me afterwards, a couple of days later when I saw him, he was in good condition, that he had hallucinated, not to give the details, but like you do on an LSD trip, then been terribly depressed.
What is BZ?
BZ is a special drug to produce extreme hallucination and then extreme depression developed by the CIA. LSD.
Now, if you look this up, Paul Robeson slashed his own wrist and tried to commit suicide the very next day after this party he's talking about, because I looked it up after this, because this is what I've been doing with all my free time.
It was developed on many campuses, you see, and the spin-off from the experiments, it was LSD, which is a weaker version of BZ. But the BZ was used on Frank Olson and on other victims to get rid of political enemies, foreign and domestic.
Robeson Sr. ended up in a hospital under the care of doctors who used MK-Ultra depatterning techniques. They gave Robeson 54 electroconvulsive shock treatments at overly high doses, permanently damaging his mind and sabotaging his career.
I did not know that. And if you watch this, you find out, for all you former ecstasy users, that ecstasy was also one of those drugs that they've created to try to mind control and mind fuck people. And when they found out it didn't work, they sold it as a drug. And that's why we got so many brain dead morons walking around right now in a pandemic time expecting things to get better while not making the necessary precautions. So this is exactly what's going on there. It's just I find it intriguing that a lot of these, especially pill form drugs they use, were either mind control drugs or drugs they weaponize to use against our community. And I want y'all to notice this when you talking about, the coronavirus is a biological. No, I want you to notice they tried to make pills and shit, and that didn't work. I just don't give them being that smart. But I'm gonna stay masked up, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. LVZ, I'm out.